The galaxy had seen many powerful civilizations, but humans were not one of them. For a long time, most alien races believed that Earth was a small and weak world. Humans were known for their emotions, their strange creativity, and their habit of trying things that made no sense to older civilizations. When humanity finally received an invitation to join the Galactic Council, many alien leaders were surprised. Some even thought it was a mistake. The Galactic Council was the place where the most advanced civilizations shared knowledge, technology, and power. Every race that stood in that chamber had proven itself strong enough to survive among the stars. Humans had only been traveling through deep space for a short time compared to the others. That alone made many aliens doubt them. A few months after joining the Council, a grand technology exhibition was announced. This was a famous event where every civilization could show its newest creations. Powerful ships, advanced weapons, and strange machines were displayed proudly for the entire galaxy to see. The exhibition hall was enormous, a floating structure large enough to hold fleets of ships. Bright stars could be seen through the transparent walls as thousands of alien representatives gathered to watch. One by one, the great empires presented their technology. A massive warship from the Drath Empire appeared first. It could split a small moon in half with a single shot. The audience reacted with quiet respect. Next came the Keral Dominion. They revealed a weapon that could bend gravity itself, trapping enemy fleets in invisible prisons. The crowd was impressed. These were the kinds of inventions the galaxy expected to see. Finally, the announcement for the next presentation echoed across the hall. Now presenting, the United Nations of Earth. A large holographic screen activated in the center of the chamber. Slowly, a human ship appeared. The ship was small compared to the others. Its shape looked simple, almost plain. It had no giant weapons, no glowing energy cores, and no intimidating design. For a moment the hall was silent. Then someone laughed. Another alien joined. Soon the quiet chamber filled with whispers and amusement. "That is their newest technology," one alien delegate said with a chuckle. "It looks unfinished," another replied. A tall blue-skinned ambassador leaned toward his neighbor and said, "Perhaps humans brought the wrong file. This must be a construction model." More laughter spread across the chamber. To many of them, the ship looked like a beginner's design, something a young civilization might build during its early years in space. But the human representative standing near the center of the hall did not react. He was a calm man named Elias Ward. He simply watched the room quietly. The hologram slowly rotated, showing every angle of the ship. Some alien engineers tried to scan the design, hoping to understand it. But the system provided very little information. Only one word appeared under the ship's name. Prototype. That single word made the laughter grow even louder. "Of course it is a prototype," one alien leader joked, "because no finished warship would look like that." Even some council members smiled politely. Yet Elias Ward remained silent. He folded his hands behind his back and waited for the laughter to fade. Because he knew something the others did not. This ship was never meant to impress the galaxy. It was never meant to scare anyone. It was only meant to exist. A test. A beginning. Deep inside Earth's hidden shipyards, thousands of engineers had been working for 20 years. They were building something that the galaxy had never imagined. The small ship floating in the hologram was only the first step. The first piece of a much larger plan. A plan that humans had quietly prepared while the rest of the galaxy watched them with amusement. Elias finally spoke in a calm voice. "This vessel is our first adaptive combat prototype." But the alien audience barely listened. They were still smiling, still whispering to each other, still laughing. None of them realized that the simple ship on the screen represented the birth of a new kind of warfare. A kind the galaxy had never faced before. And one day very soon, the same civilizations laughing in that chamber would remember this moment. Not with amusement, but with fear. Rocket. After the exhibition ended, the laughter slowly faded from the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. Most alien delegates left the chamber still smiling. Many of them believed the human presentation had been the weakest display in the entire event. For them, the small human ship was nothing special. Just another young civilization trying to prove it belonged among older and stronger races. Across the galaxy, stories about the strange human prototype began to spread. Some aliens called it the toy ship of Earth. Others joked that humans had spent years building something that looked like a beginner project. But not everyone laughed. A few alien scientists were curious. They had watched the presentation more carefully than the others. Something about the ship's design did not make sense. It was too simple, too clean, too intentional. Most advanced alien ships were extremely complex, covered in powerful weapons, heavy armor, and glowing systems that showed their strength. The human ship had none of that. Its structure looked smooth and balanced. Every part of it seemed carefully placed, as if the ship had been designed to change. One group of researchers from the Varex Union began studying the limited data humans had shared. At first they found nothing unusual. But after several days of analysis, a strange pattern appeared. The ship's internal system was not fixed like normal technology. Instead, it was built around a flexible core system. A system that could accept upgrades, new weapons, and new modules without rebuilding the entire ship. This idea shocked the researchers. Most alien warships were powerful, but they were also rigid. Once built, their design rarely changed. But the human prototype was different. It was built to evolve. One Varex scientist stared at the data for a long time before speaking quietly. "This is not a finished weapon," he said. "This is a foundation." The room became silent. If the human design worked the way they suspected, it meant something very dangerous. Human ships could adapt during war. They could change tactics faster than any alien fleet. New weapons could be added quickly. Old systems could be replaced without building entirely new ships. That meant the human military could grow stronger with every battle. The researchers immediately reported their findings to their government. Soon the information began spreading to other powerful empires. And slowly, the tone of the conversation about humanity began to change. The laughter started to disappear. In its place came quiet concern. Some alien leaders began asking the same question. Why would humans show such a simple prototype to the entire galaxy? Unless they wanted everyone to underestimate it. Meanwhile, on Earth, the reaction to the exhibition was very different. Inside a hidden command center beneath the mountains, a group of human engineers and military officers watched recordings from the Galactic Council. When the alien delegates laughed at the prototype, some young engineers felt angry. But the older scientists only smiled. One of them, an old engineer named Dr. Maya Chen, turned toward the screen and spoke calmly. "Good," she said. "Let them laugh." Because deep in secret shipyards orbiting Earth, the real project was already moving forward. The small prototype shown to the Council had only been the first test. Now the second phase had begun. Larger ships were already under construction. Ships that used the same adaptive system. Ships that could learn, improve, and grow stronger over time. Humanity had learned an important lesson from its early years in space. The galaxy was full of powerful civilizations, but most of them had become comfortable with their strength. They believed their technology was already perfect. Humans believed something different. They believed nothing was ever truly finished. And that belief was now shaping a fleet unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. A fleet that started with a simple prototype. The same prototype the Galactic Council had laughed at, Rocket. After the revelations about the human prototype began to spread, the laughter that once filled the Galactic Council halls turned into uneasy whispers. Alien leaders who had dismissed Earth as weak now began to watch the humans more closely. The small ship that had seemed so simple was suddenly dangerous. Not because of its size or weapons, but because of the intelligence and adaptability hidden inside. Many empires feared that if humans were allowed to continue their development, Earth could become the strongest power in the galaxy. Secret meetings were held in the shadows of distant star systems. The Varex Union, the Keral Dominion, and the Drath Empire gathered privately to discuss the growing threat. "What are they building?" asked a blue-skinned Varex diplomat, his eyes wide with concern. "They showed only a prototype," replied a Keral engineer, "but it was built to evolve. If it succeeds, our fleets will be useless." The decision was unanimous. The galaxy could not allow humans to continue freely. Trade routes to Earth were cut off. Alien patrols began monitoring human space more closely. Some fleets were stationed near human colonies, a silent warning. But the humans did not panic. They had expected resistance. For decades, Earth's leaders had prepared quietly, knowing the galaxy would never take humanity seriously until it was too late. Meanwhile, deep in orbit, human engineers continued their work. New ships were being built at an astonishing pace. Each one larger, faster, and more adaptable than the last. They were based on the same principles as the prototype: flexibility, intelligence, and the ability to learn from battle. Captain Elias Ward, the human representative at the council, observed the galaxy's growing tension with calm. "Let them watch," he said to his team. "Every move they make only shows us where they are weak." As alien fleets moved closer, humans tested their ships in simulations. Every scenario taught the new fleet how to respond, adapt, and improve. By the time the first human strike fleet was ready, every ship in the galaxy that had dismissed Earth would face a challenge it had never expected. On one of the Council's observation posts, the alien leaders debated their next move. "We must act before humans complete their fleet," argued one. "If they finish, no force can stop them." "But attacking Earth could provoke them," said another. "They may be small, but they are clever. We do not understand their technology fully." Fear and uncertainty spread quickly. The galaxy realized it had underestimated a species that seemed harmless. And yet, humans did not make the first move. They waited patiently, continuing their preparation. The humans knew the galaxy would make mistakes. And those mistakes would give them an advantage. The prototype, once laughed at, had taught the galaxy a lesson in patience and hidden strength. Soon, the time would come when the first human fleet would appear not as a simple ship, but as a force that could change the balance of power forever. And the civilizations that had mocked Earth would finally see the truth. Humanity was no longer weak. It was ready. Rocket. Tensions across the galaxy were rising. The powerful empires that had once laughed at Earth now feared it. Reports of the humans' secret shipyards and their rapidly growing fleet reached every corner of the Galactic Council. The Council called an emergency session, summoning all member civilizations to discuss the Earth problem. In the massive chamber, alien delegates argued heatedly. Some demanded immediate action, to destroy Earth before the fleet could be completed. Others urged caution, warning that humans were unpredictable and clever. Finally, the Council issued a clear message to humanity. "Cease all military construction immediately," the announcement echoed through the chamber. "In return, we offer peace, trade, and protection from conflict. Accept these terms, and Earth will remain safe." Most alien leaders assumed humans would comply. After all, Earth was still just one planet. The galaxy was vast, and all its forces united far exceeded anything humanity had. But the human ambassador, Elias Ward, stood calmly before the council. He looked at the room full of alien delegates and spoke with quiet confidence. "Earth will not stop its preparations," he said. "Our people have been underestimated for too long. We will not allow the galaxy to dictate our future." The council members were shocked. A silence fell over the chamber, broken only by whispers. "This is unexpected," muttered one Kerel leader. "Humans, they refuse to yield," said a Drath commander, uneasy. The human stance was simple but firm. Peace on their terms was no longer an option. The council tried again, sending messages of compromise and warning. They reminded Earth that the galaxy was united against them, that a single human planet could never match the power of multiple empires. Still, the humans did not flinch. Deep in Earth's orbit, the fleet continued to grow. Each ship equipped with the adaptive technology first seen in the prototype. Simulations showed that the human fleet could learn faster than any alien strategy. It could respond to threats in ways the galaxy had never anticipated. The Council realized that words alone would not stop humanity. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy felt real fear. Not because of human size or numbers, but because of their ingenuity, their adaptability, and their willingness to fight. Elias Ward spoke one final time before leaving the council chamber. "We did not ask to join your galaxy, and we did not ask for your approval. But now you have seen what humans can do. We will defend ourselves." We will fight if we must. And we will win if we are forced into war. The words echoed through the council halls. The alien delegates, who had once laughed at a small prototype, now faced a new reality. A reality they had ignored for too long. Humanity was no longer a young, weak civilization. It had grown, prepared, and learned from the galaxy's dismissive laughter. And the moment had come when the council understood that their offer of peace had been rejected. Because humans had made their choice. The galaxy had pushed them. And humans would answer, rocket. The galaxy held its breath. The alien empires that had mocked Earth now watched nervously as reports of human fleet movements arrived. For years, the small prototype had been laughed at, dismissed, and ignored. But now, the real fleet was ready. A fleet built not for display, but for survival, for dominance, for the future of humanity. Captain Elias Ward stood on the command deck of the lead human ship. His eyes scanned the starfield ahead, calm and focused. The fleet moved in perfect formation, ships of all sizes, each equipped with adaptive technology, learning and adjusting as they traveled. The first target was a blockade near the edge of human space. A fleet of alien warships had been stationed there to intimidate and control Earth. They did not expect humans to attack first. When the alien commanders saw the approaching human ships, they laughed at first. The ships looked like the same simple prototype from the exhibition. But their formation was different, precise, and coordinated. Weapons glowed as the fleet spread out, scanning for threats. Then the battle began. The alien ships fired, expecting to overwhelm the humans quickly. But the human fleet moved like a living organism. The ships adapted instantly, dodging attacks, adjusting their shields, and returning fire with unmatched precision. Every weapon the aliens used was analyzed and countered within seconds. For every attack, the humans had a new defense, a new tactic. The alien fleet could not keep up. One by one, their ships fell. It was not just a battle, it was a lesson. The prototype that had once caused laughter had become the most dangerous weapon the galaxy had ever seen. News of the victory spread quickly. Across planets and star systems, alien leaders discussed the humans in hushed tones. Some admitted they had been wrong. Others panicked at the speed and adaptability of the human technology. On Earth, the celebration was quiet but determined. The human people understood that this was only the beginning. The first battle had been won, but the galaxy still held many more powerful civilizations. Yet the message was clear. The humans were no longer to be underestimated. They had chosen war, not out of aggression, but because the galaxy had forced their hand. And when humans chose war, they fought not only with skill and technology but with intelligence, courage, and determination. The laughing alien leaders who once ridiculed the prototype now faced a reality they could not ignore. Humanity had grown from a small, dismissed civilization into a force that could challenge the galaxy itself. The prototype had taught them patience, secrecy, and strategy. And now, humanity's answer was unstoppable. The galaxy had mocked Earth. It had demanded peace. It had underestimated the humans. But the choice had been made. And humans had chosen war, rocket.